Hey there and welcome. In this session, we're going to talk about the emotion rules as it pertains to peace. And so if we pay attention and you look at what the mind is doing when you're in kind of a peaceful, tranquil state, what we tend to think is everything is how it should be. And then we tend to acknowledge and reinforce how everything is exactly the way, it's supposed to be. Sometimes you can experience it, in nature where just a sense of peace will come over you or like a deep sense of relaxation related to peace. And you just kind of are looking at the ocean, you're on the beach and you're just going, man, like everything really is the way it's supposed to be. And nature does, all the things that it's supposed to do in exactly the way it was designed to do them. And it just does it day after day after day after day. And there's a perfection in it all, right? Or sometimes you're just, with people that you really care about and you just have that sense like you're exactly where you're supposed to be and you go, oh man, everything's the way it's supposed to be. And so things don't have to be aligned perfectly for us to have that thought of everything's the way it's supposed to be at all. Like we can, have the perception or the belief and we can reinforce that everything is the way it's supposed to be and access that peace anytime we want. Because, peace is not a byproduct of everything being perfect because life is never perfect. Like that's just not the reality of life and going through life. Like things are going to happen and things are not going to go as expected and challenges are going to occur. But when you look at the individuals who have really, worked and they really do work for it and they've attained the greatest experiences of peace, the highest access to peace. When you think about, monks who meditate, they're for years and years and years, their entire life, and they're trained from very young, they train the perception that everything's the way it's supposed to be and this sense of acceptance, right, of all things. And so if you think about when you have been really challenged in your life, like maybe you went through a separation or a divorce or, moved through a health event or like some, a loss of a job, right, or something like this, like the moment that the discord went away, right? It lasted for however long it lasted. Maybe it lasted for a day. Maybe it went for 6 months. Maybe it went for several years. And there was turmoil and there was sadness and there was hurt feelings and we can kind of get caught in all of this. We're in the perception of, in some shape or form, how things aren't the way we want them to be, how things aren't the way they're supposed to be, and how somehow, it's wrong, so to speak. And the moment that we find that moment of acceptance, that space of acceptance where we look around, we go, man, it's how it's supposed to be, right? It's like I have this better relationship that I'm in because I broke up. Like if I wouldn't have divorced, I would have never found this better relationship that I found. Or man, if I worked at that job and I just kept kind of going there day by day by day, I would have never, built my business. I would have never started something new. I would have never progressed in my career potentially. And so it's like we have this place of acceptance. All of a sudden we're at peace with losing the job, or we're at peace with a relationship coming to a close, or we're at peace with losing somebody, or we're at peace with, whatever it might be that we were holding on to. It should be different, right? The idea that it should be different. Peace occurs and comes over us when we can look at a reality and go, everything is the way it's supposed to be. And some people, they fight the idea of peace because they think, well, if I see everything as how it's supposed to be, I'm not going to grow. I'm not going to aspire to try to do more things. But the opposite is true. When we can look at everything, we go, man, everything's the way it's supposed to be. We tend to access more inspiration. We tend to access more joy. We tend to access a greater sense of fulfillment within ourselves. And the natural byproduct of that is we want to go explore. We want to go check out the world. We want to build things. We want to expand our current capacities. And so peace doesn't diminish the desire to want to perform or aspire to a different life. Matter of fact, peace is often the foundation, which is a launch pad that gives us access to do more with ourselves and accomplish more in our life. And so think of peace as this space to create from, right? A beautiful launch pad to go toward the next things in your life and a way to enjoy the journey a whole lot more than most people do, as opposed to struggling toward what they want to create all the time. So many individuals I know, they want a better quality of life in some way. They aspire to something beyond what they have, and they struggle all the time in the pursuit of it, and they don't even enjoy the outcome of more wealth or better health or a more fit body or a great relationship when they actually get it. Like they forget to actually kind of enjoy it and embrace it. Whereas peace gives us the opening to do all of those things, right? Peace gives us the ability to truly embrace things to their fullest, experience things to the fullest, and have the most permission and courage to kind of move forward and create things because we understand, oh, there's an accord to everything. And so to generate more peace in your life, to access more peace, is that theme of hey, everything's the way it's supposed to be. Everything is exactly as it should be. It's the acceptance of how things are. Not necessarily the judgment of how things are, but just accepting the way things are, right? It's not always good, it's not always bad, right? But being able to look at something and going, well, I accept that's the way it is, and then there's a peace in that. Now we can go do something about it, right? As opposed to feeling frustrated about something or angry about something, and then going, I need to go do something about it, we're going to tend to function at an inability when we get frustrated or angry and we're trying to take action towards something because we're not thinking very clearly, right? We're not seeing things as in accord, so to speak. And so you can handle any situation, and instead of get caught in, say, frustration or disappointment or sadness, go, man, I accept that is how it is, which then gives us the ability to go, great, how am I going to bring myself to it? And what can I do to influence this space and myself to be better and achieve more? And so just play with that a little bit. Think of peace as the acceptance of what is and an understanding that everything is the way in which it should be. That moment of acknowledgement that everything's okay, everything's the way it should be, it's all in accord, and we can go there even when it's difficult, which gives us access to and oftentimes a better way through the challenge. If I look at a challenge and I go, man, this is hard, this is challenging, I may not completely understand it, but I accept that it's happening and that it's how it's supposed to be. Otherwise, it wouldn't be occurring. Something else would be happening. Now we can see our way through it a little bit more effectively. So hopefully this is helpful and enjoy accessing peace a little bit more every day.